Good morning, good afternoon and good evening from wherever you may be in the world. And you can see it, we're back with the NXT Gen Cup for round number 5 at Ring Knutstorp. This 2.1 kilometer track here in Knutstorp, called the Green Hell of Sweden. As always, I'm Dan Papers and I'm joined by the founder of the series, Fredrik Lestrup. Fredrik, what a venue to be at.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, everyone watching at home. It's Knutstorp. We're on home soil in Sweden. Green Hell of Sweden. You can even see the green, nice grass we have here at the track. Happy to be at Knutstorp. It's actually one of the tracks we did a lot of the testing of our test car. We've done, I think, 40% of the testing here, so the car is well suited for this racetrack. We have high and big elevations, as you can see here on our pictures. It's exciting. We had a really weird and complicated, exciting qualifying session with 4 red flags, Dan. What happened at qualifying, Dan?
Qualifying was a crazy one, and you can see it's a maiden pole position for Lucas Stiefelhagen. Elias Arestam together with him on the front row. Theo Jörnberg in third, ahead of Linus Granfors in P4. Behind him first, or ahead of him first, was Ellis Pietza. He later got a grid drop because he didn't respect a yellow flag. Alex Gustafsson, therefore, is in P5. Louise Larsen in 6th, her best ever qualifying. There he is, Ellis Pietza down in P7, ahead of Sebastian Schinmark in P8. P9. Frenzo Holman ahead of Alexander Christensen in P10. Mikael Knute in 11th, and Jonathan Engström not happy with his qualifying in 12th. Can't find his groove in the rain with this car. Måns Tallin in P13 had a Victor Nielsen in 14th, his worst qualifying of the season. Then Siri Högfeldt in 15th and 16th, Graham Hofmans. In 17th, it is Philip Bartos, and not taking part in this race, Fredrik, Katie Turner.
Yeah, sadly, she wasn't within the 110% qualifying time. So that's the rules, sadly. So we're about to get started. So we're waiting for the 5-second board. As you can see, top screen, the cars are lined up. We are ready to race. We're hoping we have a push-to-pass function in the screen today so that we can see who is using it, when and where. And the cars are ready, Dan?
That will be exciting. Well, Lucas will lead us away from the front row. And, well, as always, they're getting a little bit of help slotting into their grid boxes. In the back, you can see the 12 of Philip Bartos in the beautiful Screenbolaget car. I love that car. The colors make it really pop out.
As you can see, Stiefelhagen, he's positioned his car a little bit crooked, so he wants to make sure he has a straight line from his grid box directly to be in front of Adestam in the M Bilar group car. So I talked to the people at Schunk. They said it's obviously about the driver, but it's not about the driver. It's about the car sponsor, they said. So they're happy for their first pole position. We have a green flag.
The green flag is being waved. We're waiting for the 5 red lights to come on at the end of the pit lane. There we go. They've gotten the 5-second board. Waiting now at the front of the field is Lucas Stiefelhagen. It's lights out and away we go. Not the best start though for Lucas Stiefelhagen. Off the line. Everyone wheel spinning. The grip isn't quite there for everyone. But Elias Arestam off the line. A great start behind that as well. I think Linus Granfors in the no-weight on the internet car. The number 3, the yellow and white car. A great start for him. Ellis Pietza, a good start for him as well round the outside. He's going to try and make it of Alex Gustafsson. That's the 19 right hand side of screen, but everyone trying to find the grip, and Luke is already down into P3.
Yeah, good job by Ellis Pietza. It's in P4 at the moment, started P7. We have 2 cars wide going over the crest into the left-hander. Make sure you leave space for each other. Well done. A little bit of contact and a nice slide, nice save.
That, I think, was Enzo Holman in the ABB car, and in the Hankook car, I think it is the 6 of Mikael Knute. Watch out for him. He had to come back from a little bit further back. Is already up into the top 6. Siri Högfeldt in the Tearshine car on the inside of him. She manages to make that out. Slight contact, but Mikael Knute seems to love these conditions, Fredrik.
Yeah, he's done a great job. Look at him. And Alex Gustafsson, he did his best qualifying. P5, he's still in P5. He's defending for the Hankook car, trying on the outside to have a better line going into the last left-hander before the straight.
There seems to be absolutely no grip out there. You can see Elias using the banking in the background. Ellis Pietza trying to get past Lucas now. Linus is on the back of Elias here, and Linus seems to have a bit of pace. We know from the Nürburgring that Linus has a lot of pace, especially in the wet. Knows how to drive those wet lines. You can see it here. Has a look at the inside of Elias. Is there going to be contact? There's going to be no contact. Linus is going to make his way through.
Well done. That's a nice braking, nice overtake, clean, no contact. Well done. Elias Adestam needs to follow now, make sure he's not attacked by Stiefelhagen, who clearly is up in under his rear wing, and Eli Spezia now waiting. He needs to gather points. He's fallen down to second place in the championship. I talked to him before, and he is just focusing on getting the points, getting up there. He's pushing for a win.
Lucas is making that car as wide as possible in the background, though Ellis can't get past at the moment. Lucas is also looking at trying to overtake Elias Adestam. That position he lost off the line, but once again, Linus showing what he can do in conditions that aren't quite straightforward. Mikael Knute looking up the inside of Ellis Spezia as well. The Dane is he's loving these conditions, Fredrik.
I mean, Mikael Knute is coming from rallying, so he has experience from tricky conditions and oversteering, understeering. You can see the difference in the lines. They're trying to find the grip, and the track is drying up. We can see dry patches. This is extremely difficult. The grip level is different in every corner. I think turn 1, there's normally a lot of shade there and still wet. We have no spray, a little bit of spray behind the cars. We can see some windscreen wipers, but Granfors is pulling away. He's doing a good job. He's Mr. Confidence himself. He's made no mistakes in the last few races. He's pulling away from Adestam.
I can't remember the last time really Linus made a mistake himself. The only mistake that really came was an issue with the car at the time with the battery sensor, and that puts him out of the race at Oschersleben. That was the only thing really, and he lost a lot of points, made those points up at Yellow-Rossen. A great weekend for him, not for our championship leader at the time, Ellis Spezia, who's at the moment in 4th trying to make his way up to Linus, but this is great for him in the championship as well. Came into this race with 3 points in between him and Ellis Spezia, and every point that he can gain now is more confidence going into the last round at Montour Park. Remember, we do have a race later on today. Mikael Knute was, for a second, was past Ellis Spezia, but the Dane running a bit deep and a better exit out of the corner for Ellis Spezia. But what this is doing is it's giving the Schonkar, it's giving Lucas a bit of time to think about his attack on Elias. And you can see here, Mikael Knute trying the inside. The outside is the better line through there with the better exit. But Mikael Knute, a mediocre start for him, but he's found himself in this rainy, wet conditions, and you can see the top 2 now breaking away. Elias trying to follow the lines that Linus is doing. And the thing in these conditions also are, Fredrik, the normal line might not be the fastest line anymore because it's dry on the inside maybe and wet on the outside.
Yeah, well, you can see them going into turn 1. They're all braking with two cars wide to the right side, so they're not on the ideal racing line because there's a lot of rubber there, so the water stays on the tarmac, and on the right side there's more grip. So Linus is doing a good job. He has 3/10 quicker than anyone else on the last lap. Adestam has pulled away a little bit from Stiefelhagen. He can focus forward, and also Spezia now, he's found a little bit of breathing room from Mikael Knute in the Hankook car, attacking from the back. And I think Stiefelhagen, if he can finish on the podium, his first ever race, that would be amazing. We have a little bit of contact in the back. The Varta car with Måns Tallin into the door of Kristiansson in the Åsbohus car, fighting for position 11 and 12 at the moment.
Måns Tallin.
And Graham Hoffmans is preparing. Preparing. I thought he was preparing his push to pass, but he's not. So from what I can see from the data we have, so Louise Larsson is actually preparing her push to pass now. Louise Larsson is behind Engström. She's using it. You can see it on the left-hand side of the screen. She has more power now. And will she pass Engström or not?
She had her best qualifying ever yesterday, but I don't think it quite happened down on the turn 1. You can also see that Mikael Knute in the last sector especially is quicker than Spezia, but all the other sectors Ellis tries to make up a gap and can make up a gap. 8 laps to go here, 12 laps. If we don't have any safety cars, we don't need to extend to the full 20 minutes that we do have, so it's gonna be coming down to the laps. Mikael Knute tries the inside and Ellis Spezia can't get it up the hill. The elevation changes here are incredible, Fredrik. And with Ellis Spezia trying to defend his position against Mikael Knute and doing that successfully. Also a little bit further back in the field, Louise Larsson, we touched on it a little second ago. She had her best qualifying yesterday. She dropped down to P10. The racing conditions for Louise at the moment tricky for everyone out there. Jonathan Engström had to come from P12. He's up into P9.
Yeah, and I talked to Louise after qualifying. The car came in on the towing truck, on the flatbed, but she was so happy anyway because it was the best qualifying ever. So it was a little bit fun situation.
Also,
Theo Jörnberg having a little bit of oversteering in his Italvot sponsored STFG car. P3 at qualifying.
Yep.
He's P8 now, so he's lost quite a lot of positions. And here you can see Christiansson with Louis Larsson, and Christiansson is using his push to pass, as you can see at the moment, to gain a position and pull away. So he's actually passed Louis Larsson, and Louis didn't manage to get past Engström. So she used one of a push to pass, but it didn't give her a position.
Just a little too far back. We also seem to have lost Frederick. Graham Hoffmans, he's not in the pits. Is he somewhere out there? Do we have a yellow flag? I can't really see if we do have one, but he's lost. Can't see him on the live timing anymore. And you can see Graham Hoffmans has dropped all the way down to P17 down the inside.
Trying to pass Enzo Hallman on the inside.
For Theo Jernberg, Enzo Holman is going to have to try and make it work around the outside. He's able to do so. Also a little bit further back, the 5 Sebastian Schinmark trying to make his way up the inside. Oh, Enzo Holman, was that the ABB card? No, it wasn't. Mikael Njör finally is going to make it work on Ellis Spezia. He is this time round. Is Ellis going to be able to get a better exit? We have seen this multiple times now. The inside this time for Ellis Spezia, but these two having a right old go at it. And the 11 of Ellis Spezia on the inside now. Mikael Njör trying to make it work. And it seems like finally, Frederick, he's going to make that work.
Yeah, well driven, boys. Nice and clean. Let's see if Ellis is using his push to pass or not to pass him. I don't think. Jonathan Engström now is using his push to pass to try to pass Engström. To pass Jernberg in the SDFG car. It's a lot to talk about now, Dan.
Yeah, Comter has to put his teeth in, we usually say. There we go, got that one in there. It is raining down as well, and the weather hasn't really helped us yesterday. It isn't really doing that now. One thing I know, and that is that Ellis Spezia has made his way past Mikael Njör again. These two are having a right old go at it, and Mikael Njör has been re-overtaken by Ellis Spezia, now defending the inside. He's managed to do that without any push to pass. Still, Jernberg having a detour off the track. That was coming down into turn 7, a tricky part of the track. The car's loaded, and Mikael Njör in the rain absolutely bucketing it down at the moment, but he's finding his groove. Ellis Spezia, trouble on the outside.
Nice fighting, guys. So Mikael Njör is clearly finding, and Ellis is pushing, trying to upset the car of Mikael Njör. Mikael now needs to defend, go to the inside. Let's see if Ellis can make a wider line, do a good exit, and attack him for the last left-hander before the straights. He's staying wide, he's making sure he's getting a good exit. So I have the computer in front of me with all the telemetry from the cars, and Ellis is not using any push to pass yet, so he's saving them. But Alex Gustafsson now is using his push to pass, and Alex is in P6.
This is trying to get closer to the guys in front of him, because you can see them fighting. And that means that he can get closer. Mikael Njör, bits all over the place there, has lost a lot of time, but still crucially ahead of Ellis Spezia. That was exactly what he was trying to achieve. Goodness me, have I seen that right? Was that the Schunk car of Lucas? And it was our pole sitter, our maiden pole position for him. He's dropped all the way down, and Lucas, I think, has dropped somewhere down to the regions of P6, P7, behind Alex Gustafsson.
He's clearly made a mistake in turn 1, probably went off the track, so he's further back now. He has some work to do now to catch up to these guys in the front. So the weather is playing them a trick now. More rain, less grip, difficult conditions, and Mikael Njör now is using this to his advantage, pulling away from Spezia at the moment. Mikael Njör in P4. He's obviously
P3 now.
P3 now, exactly. Sorry. So he's pushing now to make sure he can keep this pole position.
Adelstam at the front is also caught up to Linus Granfors. This is the battle for the lead. None of them, from what I can see, using any push to pass at the moment, but Slipstream, we know that he loves to use push to pass at the end of a race. We saw it also come down to the line at the last race at Gelleråsen, so we know how these two can play the push to pass game. They've had a lot of practice at it during testing at Gelleråsen as well, but they know where to use it. They'll both know how much they've left, and I think both have their push to pass users left still.
Exactly, and Stiefelhagen now down to P6, and Siri Högfeldt now is being attacked on the inside and going into turn 1. So Adelstam is still behind Granfors. Let's see if he can find a way past. It's a narrow track, Dan. It's difficult to find grip. You don't have much options in your choice of lines. At some corners you need to stay at the normal racing line, and you have some places where you can try to find the grip, and it looks like they're just keeping it cautious, not overdriving the car, getting corner understeer in the corner exits, and as you say, they both have 2 push to pass left to use, and 4 laps to go, so let's see how this plays out.
Graham Offman still somewhere out there on track, has not passed start finish. I think we can surely say that he's out of this race, Frederick, sadly for the young Dutchman. The other one has dropped down to P6, but at the front we can see that Mikkel Njør was also preparing a push to pass. Lucas Stiefelhagen also preparing his push to pass. When's he going to use it? Coming on to the straight, he is in 6th now. They're both using it. You can see it blinking on the left hand side. That's the new graphic that we have, and you can see that they're using push to pass
so
that way.
Stiefelhagen used it to pass Gustafsson, so he used it. He's passed him. Louise Larsson is using her last one at the moment. Sebastian Schinmark as well using his, and Siri Herkfeldt in the back as well, defending her positions.
Now I know that Stiefelhagen, Lucas, was loving these conditions yesterday. He absolutely adored them with what they were doing. Mikkel Njør at the moment in P3 is trying to find some time on the top two ahead. In second, it is Elias Adestam. This is why he's faster. Yesterday in the rain, he lost 6/10 at one corner. That would have given him pole position because the gap in the end was about 5.5 tenths of a second to Lucas at the front. But it wasn't quite enough, and he knew that after the session. So he said, if it rains tomorrow, watch out for the lines that I'm taking, because I know where to gain my time. Linus knows that. He was quick in the rain, like I said at the top of the show at the Nürburgring. Elias Adestam, 3 laps to go. When is he going to use his push to pass? Linus, 2 left. Elias Adestam, 2 left. None of them preparing it at the moment, so it seems like it's going to come down to the last 2 laps.
And for everyone watching, you can see on the timing on the left side, the leaderboard, you can see these 2 white lines, or not the black ones, meaning Granfors, Adestam, they have 2 push to pass left. The white ones is when they have used them. So Spiezza is in a good position. He still has 2 push to passes to use. Stiefelhagen, Gustafsson behind him has used both of them, and Stiefelhagen is pulling away from Gustafsson at the moment. We can clearly see that. So he's pushing good lap times at the moment. 2 laps to go.
For Ellis, it would be ideal if Elias could get past Linus, of course, for Elias as well. All 3 of them are in a championship battle. And if Elias can overtake him, that means that he's at least getting points on the man top of the championship at the moment. And as it looks like, that won't change. If there's no bad luck in these last 2 laps for Linus Granfors, it looks like he's going to head the championship going into the next race as well, with 3 points in it, though everything can happen still. In the background, it looked like Ellis Spiezza was getting past Mikkel Njør, and now Elias Adestam trying the inside. And Linus Granfors had a little bit of a look, couldn't quite work it out.
So clearly Spiezia has passed Njør. Was there a mistake? Was there an overtake? And looks like Granfors is trying completely different lines now to find grip, getting a good exit, making sure that if Adestam and both of them are using their push to pass. So Granfors planned that, I think. He sacrificed the corner entry to get a good exit, to use push to pass and gain a bigger gap. Theo Jörnberg, Enzo Holman are using it as well. So here you can see Enzo in the Hexis car behind Gustafsson using his push to pass. And Gustafsson is defending on the inside in the Ferena de Biel car. But it looks like Enzo has almost passed him, who will brake later going into turn 1. Christiansson now as well, passing Theo Jörnberg with his push to pass. It looks like he prepared it but never used it.
Yeah, in the background also there was another move going on. Ellis Spiezza has gotten past Mikkel Njør with that push to pass. Adestam still has his 2 left. Where is he going to use it? Does he know he has 2 push to pass uses left? Does he know this? Because it seems like with 1 lap to go, so we're on the last lap, it seems like, where is he going to use it?
I mean, it's the start-finish line. It's basically the best place, or in this corner, as you can see, turn 4, 5, 6. So Adestam has to make his move now. He has to make his move if he's going to pass Granfors for the win.
Linus tried to pull away with that push to pass. Clearly, you can see that hasn't worked. Once again, going into the last complex of corners, doing exactly the same that Linus did last time round. He's repairing it, I think. And Elias Adestam might well use his push to pass
now to defend his position.
Both are using it. Is the checkered flag out? The checkered flag is out, and I said he had 2 left and he hasn't used them both. He's only used 1, and Linus wins the race ahead of Elias Adestam, but it was a push to pass game in the end between the 2. This also is a great battle. Enzo Holman has got past Alex Gustafsson in the background. This is the 21, I think, of Siri Herkfeldt. No, it is not. It is the 50 of Victor Nielsen. No, it's not. Mons Talen is not quite going to get him, but a difficult race for Victor Victor Nielsen really. Checkered flag is out, bucketing it down out on track. The ABB car as well of Louise Larsson, the 51. Not quite what she would have liked. Siri Högfeldt coming through in P16. Philip Bartos, a good race for him in P15, was right on the back of them.
Yeah, the leaderboard was lighting up like a Christmas tree, wasn't it, with all the push-to-passes in the end. So a lot of them saved it. Let's go through the result then.
Here we go. Linus Granfors wins once again. Another winner in the Next Gen Cup. Elias Arestam in second. Ellis Spezia in P3. Mikael Njur in P4. Ahead of Lucas Stiefelhagen in P5. A good first ever race for him in P5. That'll mean that he will start from P3 in race number 2 with a reversed top 8. Fourth, excuse me. Enzo Holman in 6th, ahead of Alex Gustafsson in 7th. Alexander Christiansen, a good race for him, a good comeback drive for him. Theo Jernberg started in 3rd, ended up in 9th. Jonathan Engström in P10, rounding off that top 10. Victor Nielsen in 11th, ahead of Måns Tallinn in P12. Louise Larsson 13th, ahead of Sebastian Schenmark. Louise with their best qualifying ever in P6, dropping down into P13. 16 is Siri Högfeldt, ahead of a missing Graham Hoffmans. We don't know where we've lost him out on track, but one thing is sure, and he wasn't there. Katie Turner not starting this race due to not having taken part, or well, not adhering to the 110% rule in qualifying. Well then, that was race 1 here for the Next Gen Cup. Well, don't go anywhere, because I think we have the podium ceremony next. Well then, what was this race? It was down on the turn 1. It was the Schunkar of Lucas Stiefelhagen leading the way, but a better start for Elias Arestam. Look in the background, the 3 of Linus Granfors immediately at the start, trying to get past Lucas Stiefelhagen, managed to do so on the outside. Ellis Spezia starting from P7, making his way all the way up into P4. Then this was the move that eventually gave him the win. Linus Granfors getting past Elias Arestam and Lucas Stiefelhagen, then still in P3, trying to make his way past as well. He was on the back of them. Then it started raining, and it was Linus Granfors who had the confidence to push that car as much as he did. It was also a huge battle for the whole of this race, the whole remainder of this race after the first 2 laps between Ellis Spezia and Mikael Njur. Mikael Njur fighting his way to the front of the field, was never really able to get past Ellis Spezia and keep that lead. Into turn 6, it was Theo Jernberg trying to make his way past as well on Enzo Holman. Couldn't quite manage to do so. Then, like I said, the gigantic battle between Mikael Njur and Ellis Spezia. Ellis making his way past after Mikael had overtaken him with push to pass. And then Linus Granfors still ahead of Elias Arestam, trying to extend that lead with push to pass. Couldn't quite do it. Then Mikael Njur, you can see him there ahead of Ellis Spezia, wouldn't be able to keep that. Later on in the race, he would use his push to pass to try and overtake him. Did that so successfully. Checkered flag was out, and Linus Granfors, leader in the championship, once again saw the checkered flag first, ahead of Elias Arestam. And crucially, the top 3 in the championship, also the top 3 in the race, with Ellis Spezia finishing 3rd and on the podium.